Welcome back, welcome back. LiveThatSINY, Judge, your host. We have a special show for you today. If you don't remember or if you forgot, this is the 10th year anniversary. We've been doing this show for 10 years in a row. We had something lined up to bring for y'all to the table. Things don't work out sometime in TV land, so we're just going to take it another way, and we'll maybe be able to bring that to you on a later note. You understand? So today we have in the house with us
Shahid. I'm glad to be here. Before we get started, I would like to give you congratulations.
Thank you.
On your 10-year anniversary, man, because dedication is being dedicated to something you love and actually going through the moments and the memories and an experience of it is a very, very inspiring thing for someone, you know. And so, like I said, I always would like to give the person their flowers, you know, while they're alive, you know.
Thank you.
That's something that you should do to anyone you see that's doing something in the field that you love to do, you know. So I'm really amazed at, you know, what you've been doing as a TV host, you know. So before we really get it started off, get deep into what it was really like becoming a TV host, can you kind of give us a breakdown of what it was like for you and who planted the seeds and the ideas, or who gave you that passion or that motivation to want to take this journey as a TV host?
Good question. With me, I was doing the show, a version of the show called Live That, just plain Live That, but it was in the streets, and I was doing street interviews, and it got to the point where I would show up, my crew wouldn't be there, and there was just a lot of bad time management going on there. And
So you would actually be in the streets?
Yeah.
With what? With a microphone interviewing people?
Yes, with a camera
Oh,
person
wow.
following me, and I would just be going to different businesses, different programs. Sometimes it would be different people I would interview, or it could be something like I did the Jamaican Mafia movie Red Carpet, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you was like boots on the ground.
Right, right, right.
Wow, that's very interesting. So when you was in that field, what kind of give more insight of what that was like? You know, give more detail on what that movement was about.
Well, that movement actually came about. I had started doing like an internet radio program in 2010, and the people had liked, you know, my character so much that they decided that they wanted to bring me a show called Live That, and take me in the streets and do what I do on the radio, which is interact with the callers and interact with my guests live, and that's how that started. But the first show with Live That was on my birthday. It was on my birthday, never forget, maybe 2011, okay? And I went out there midnight, and I went in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. And if you ever been to Crown Heights, Brooklyn, it's an area that just never sleeps.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm there, I'm going to the West Indian restaurants, I'm interviewing the grocery fruit stands were open still. I'm talking to a few people out there, and it was just like just jumping in the water, just jumping into something, because radio was totally different, you know. Radio.
So you had never did this before these experiences?
No, never
So
did.
you was new in all this. And
Yes.
Wow. So, kind of break down some of the interviews. What was some of your most amazing or inspiring interviews that kind of gave you that drive to say, you know what, this is what I love to do.
So if they watched the show back then, like I said, it's called Live That. There's still some episodes on the internet. You can look.
Oh, okay.
Right,
YouTube?
yeah, you can find it on there.
Oh, okay.
Right. They would see that it was just really basic. You know, the first show there was no lined up guests. It was just straight off the head, straight freestyling, straight finding people to talk to. You know what I'm saying? Stopping people on the street. The second show was more of I went inside a basketball court. So I interviewed a few of the basketball players there. And then as the show progressed, you know, the guests start getting a little bit more on a higher quality. So you asked my favorite show I did. Now, I had ended up quitting that. You know, like I said,
Can you break down why you quit?
I was giving them a little teaser earlier. It just was a conflict of time, you know. I would arrive somewhere early, you know, traveling from here in Staten Island. You got to get on the boat, the train, to this, to that, to this, to that. And I would be there, and I call them my crew. I'm like, where you at? Oh, we on our way. They coming from Queens somewhere. They in the car. So it's like, all right, now y'all get here. I still got to do all of that stuff to get back, you know what I'm saying, home. So I felt wasn't managing my time correctly. And I just knew that if I didn't make a stand then, it was just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. So
Yeah, it's sort of like your first time. You know, you really in that moment I can relate because in moments when I first start off I'm really just getting the feeling of the experience
right,
of something and knowing the do's and the don'ts. That's what sometimes you can take from a experience that you had on a journey, and that's something that I have done where I started something, I did it, but I learned from it from the do's and don'ts. So once you quit that, what journey did you take then?
I didn't really have no journey. I didn't really have no journey. I didn't really know what I wanted to do next. And it's so crazy. These same people, because what they started doing is what people normally do. They capitalize off of my name. You know what I'm saying? So now they're doing the show. It's my show. I'm the headline and name on the show, but then there's other people doing interviews and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was they got me. They said, we got this big interview we want you to do, Jamaican Mafia movie. You know, these are the people who made Shatters. So I said, oh yeah, I want a part of that experience. And they vented that time management and everything was crazy. They came and picked me up on time. They got me there on time. But now the problem became more of internal conflicts between them. You know, I got there, I did the red carpet, and they still was a little bit unprofessional. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. They still was a little bit unprofessional. So basically, they put me out here to interview all of these people in the movie, but never show me the movie first. So I'm just freestyle. This is how I learned how to freestyle interview. Right.
Okay.
This is how I learned how to freestyle interview is because I'm talking to them, and
So what age you was at this moment?
this was like maybe 2012, you know what I'm saying? This was like 2012, so,
Okay.
right. You know, I'm up there. So I was up there 10 years ago, up there like that.
Okay.
Probably like 40, late 30s, something
Yeah,
like that.
okay.
Somewhere in between there. But I did the interview, and you know, I interviewed all the big stars of the movie. And like I said, I didn't see the movie, so I couldn't ask them about their parts. I couldn't ask them about the character. And then some of them I was like in
So
awe
was you
of.
ever nervous? You did, in moments talking to people that's been displayed in movies. What was it like interviewing for your, like you say you freestyle? So what it was like for you to interview people with no
It
experience.
was crazy because if you seen Shatta, you know Mad Max is the man in the Shatta's movie. And they told me you have to interview the star. So, you know, I'm green, I'm new, so I'm like the star. You know what I'm saying? I never seen the movie, so I don't know who the star is. So he comes and I made him wait because as I was sitting around, I had told these other gentlemen I'm gonna get their interview first, and I wanted to keep my word with them. So I made him wait. I made Mad Max wait. And then when I got to Mad Max, he didn't have the dreads like the movie. He had a bald head. So I done had this man freestyling. I done had this man doing a whole bunch of stuff. And then I looked good and said, Mad Max? I said, oh, shuck, I didn't even know I was over here with Mad Max. You know what I'm saying? And then that just changed a little bit. But, you know, sometimes when people are famous, they appreciate when you really don't know them like that. So you don't go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So he appreciated that. And he was like my knight in shining armor for the rest of the night. Because once I got that big interview and I did what I did without seeing the movie, now the next step was to watch the movie. And then we do another cycle of interviews. So now my interview completely changed because I watch every character. I watch the movie from beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? I know who is who now. So, you know, the unprofessionalist came back in. So now I guess I was getting so much love from Mad Max they decided like, we're gonna rotate these interviews. So I'm like, wait. Now before I came here, we never talked about rotating these interviews. Who is these other people rotating? You know what I'm saying? And we basically ran out the night like that. I met a good brother from out here who was an artist. His name is Daddy Tom. You know what I'm saying? He's been on my show a couple of times. But I met him there. You know what I'm saying? He was playing one of the Italian mafia members in the movie. And we just formed a bond from there. But it was like after that, the footage disappeared, all of that disappeared. And I said, you know what? I'm tired of, you know, when you're just tired of being mad and tired of being pissed off. And right at that moment on the TV, the advertisement came for studio classes, okay? And it was like free. And I said, you know what? Let me call this number. Let me look into this right here. And I called. They said, come in for the orientation. It was that same week. I came in for the orientation. And then I start proceeding to do my classes. Now, this is the end of going in the end of the 2012, okay? So I start doing my classes. I complete my classes. And things was different back in the days. You and your fellow classmates had to put a project together, okay? And they wasn't serious about it. They was serious when we was trying to get our certification, but once we got that certification, it was like once it was time to put that class together, everybody scattered like roaches. So then that left me stranded, you know what I'm saying? And it got to the point where I finally was ready to do something. They said, no, your certification expired. That was for 2012. It's 2013 now, so you have to take the classes over again. And that's the reason why this show was so late starting. You know, it started in 2014.
Wow. Okay. And it's interesting while you sharing your story. It was about when you got tired of that journey, another door, another avenue, adventure opened up for you, and this is how you got started on your 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, if someone is watching your show, a younger person who want to become a TV host or want to get into the camera in this field of work, what are some of the things you would encourage them as far as the do's and don'ts, or just inspire them or give them the warning signs of this journey?
I would just let them know, like, a big thing with me and a big word in my vocabulary all of these years later is resilience, okay? You have to be resilient and do your research. You know what I'm saying? Do your research and don't let one obstacle discourage you. You know what I'm saying? Even when I was working with that crew prior to doing this show myself, I could have just pulled out my phone and start doing the same thing I was doing on the streets anyway. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? But it took me to get a little bit more seasoned for this stuff to just naturally start coming in my head. Like, oh, you just pull your phone out. You know, like I had one of my proteges. She was gonna do a show in Long Island, and train. She's on the Long Island Railroad. Train is messed up, is jacked up. So it took them about 4 hours for them to make it to the studio. I said, next time you just pull out your phone and you do the interview right there in the streets. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how far I've came, and that's the advice I would give anybody under me. By any means necessary, just make it happen.
Oh, okay. That's that's very interesting because the reason why I ask you those things is because now that I've been in this camera field, um, there's a lot of different phases, a lot of things that I understand, and there's a lot of things I don't understand. But one of the things I do understand is in this camera world, there's a lot of work. There's a lot. You have to be dedicated. You have to be willing to make mistakes. You have to be willing to start over
Right.
because that's something a lot. Because a lot of times when I'm creating a project, sometimes I feel like it ain't good enough, or I need to elevate, or change, or make. I need to learn more. I need to research more, and really, it's all in doing the work. Because once you start doing the work, either from hosting, TV hosting, or shooting it, or making a documentary, it's the work that's gonna make your craft better.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like being around you all, seeing what you all are doing, it kind of helps me see different levels and what I can do and what I can't do. You see what I'm saying? So, in saying that, how how have you used your experience to take you to the next level?
Good question. After all of these years of doing this and all of these years of interacting with different guests and different talent and different stories, you know what I'm saying? It inspired me after meeting you to want to tell some of these stories and tell some of this stuff. So I have taken being in front of the camera and hosting a show to now call myself like instructor and writing books about my experience so far doing this. You know, so that's one of the things that has evolved with me is that I'm now sharing this experience in other ways. A lot of times I'm here talking, but I never really talk about myself. I try to focus on what my guests got going on and whatever talent or whatever they bring into the table. I try to keep it there, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm here every week practically, you know what I'm saying? So if you want to find out anything from me, I'm an open book, you know what I'm saying? So basically, I started writing some books that they could open, you know what I'm saying? And it felt good to be able to share these experiences and also inspire future people in independent TV production, you know, or independent TV hosting or whatever, because sky's the limit. And when you come here, you don't just do one thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm the host here, but I really have to control everything that's going on around. And a lot of times it's been unpredictable. Since you've been here, it's been so many unpredictable situations, but you can't let it get you down. You know what I'm saying? You just have to know how to pick it up and go with it.
It's interesting you brought up about your books. I think that is a very interesting thing that you're doing far as by it being your 10-year anniversary. Now you're taking your experience and your stories and your knowledge and you're putting it into books. So now it's like you giving back to the world or the community on how you paved the way for yourself, and also you giving back by creating these books to educate people in the community on what it took for you to create TV shows and interviewing people. And so in creating these books and tied into your 10-year anniversary, far as your experience. What does that feel like?
It feel it feels great. It's for me. It's therapeutic for one. For two, it's just I can't keep all of this knowledge in my head. I've done over probably 200 plus interviews in these 10 years that I've been doing this, and each one of them has been unique. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Each one of them has been unique. We probably did quite a few shows,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
We're
But
doing
they
one
all
now.
right, and
We're
they
doing
always
one.
been like a different show, a different vibe to the show. It's never
Yeah,
been
yeah.
like that same show we're doing over again. You know what I'm saying? And that's very hard to do. Is like to keep just reinventing. When I first got here, I was so just ready to go. I was shooting music videos. I was out doing location shoots. I was everything you can name. Okay, I was doing it, and after a while, I got to like, you don't have to do as much. You can focus on, you know what I'm saying, this right here, and put more into it. And if my viewers really paid attention, that's when my shows started getting more powerful and powerful and powerful, because I just start focusing more on my show and focusing more on my guests. You know what I'm saying? And that spotlight that I was presenting to them.
Well, that's very interesting because not too many people. I'm not gonna say not too many, but a lot of people don't have that blessing to be able to live their dream and then write about it. And that's the reason why I wanted to ask you about your books, because can you kind of like break down some of the books, like what as far as being an author now and using your experience to give back all this knowledge to the community? Could you kind of like break down what someone can experience on reading and getting in your books, and also where are your books available? How can they find
I
them?
mean, the books are available. See, here goes, that's book number one.
Oh,
So the
okay.
books are available on Amazon. They can just look up Lights, Camera, Obstacles, and book. You know what I'm saying? And this should come up right here. Or they can look up Lights, Camera, Obstacles, and Ja Dreads, because my name is on the book. So
Okay.
these books are
So you wrote, designed, created all these books?
everything, everything.
You
The
published
covers,
everything? Okay.
from the publisher, I'm the writer. You know what
So
I'm
you
saying?
cut out all the middlemen.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get something done, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's easier for you to just do it yourself. I learned in life
Yeah.
than waiting on other folks. But these books, the first 5 books, because I still got 5 more that I'm about to publish.
Okay,
But
so
these
you
first 5 ones are just helping people get started coming into the industry, letting them know different ways that they can go about getting in the studio or making this dream happen without costing them an arm and a leg, without costing them, you know, getting swindled by somebody like, I'll help you start your career. And then, you know, they pay them a lot of money and get nothing out the deal. So it's basically the first book tells them where they can go, how I started, you know what I'm saying, and my advice of if they want to start, where they can go cost effectively and get this started. And then the next ones are about budgeting, about casting, which is really, you know, like me finding guests to interview. It talks about locations, you know what I'm saying? So each book specifically is on a title to where it's gonna help them in a specific area. Like I said, the first one is how to get started. The second one is probably casting and budgeting and location, you know what I'm saying? And each one of them gives them the steps to make some of these things happen. And I also give them my personal story of how I completed these steps and made it happen. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not easy.
It's one thing you was talking about, like when people pay a lot of money and don't get nothing out of it, and that's something that that's a lot going on in this type of work. You know, people will pay money hoping that they could get results, and they paying or they overpaying for something that they may not have knowledge of. And I have experienced that. And that's something that I learned for as being a creator. If I know how to do something and the person don't know how to do it, I feel as though it's my duty to give them the knowledge, and
Right.
hopefully not charge them, just help them elevate, because I feel as though maybe one day I may need them, like one day they may, I feel like the knowledge that I get, if I share it with someone else, they may go farther than me.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons I feel as though if I have the knowledge to educate or help someone, I want to give it to them for free, and hopefully, that they elevate to higher levels,
Right. And work with them.
and bring me along with them.
Right.
What I'm
Work
saying?
with them hand in hand.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Probably this year alone, I've probably brought in like 4 new producers. You know what I'm saying? So it's always out there trying to help everybody make their dreams come true.
So let me ask you this: how do you? Is there a certain level where you pick your guests? Like, how do you go about choosing your guests? Do you let anyone come, or is it a certain? How do you go about doing it?
See, I talk about that in book 2. I
Okay.
have, at first, I advise people use what you have around you. If you have friends and family that have talent and you know what I'm saying, they have a story and you need to get them out, use them first before you go searching for anybody else, because they're right there next to you and they're in your grasp. You know what I'm saying? And more times out of 10, you pretty much know their story. You pretty much know their struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But eventually, I had got to where I started using bookers, and bookers is like, it's not like gambling bookies. It's people who book shows for me. So one of my top bookers that I've had for almost going on 10 years, I think I've been dealing with him from 2016. He's A&R, a music A&R. So he has artists. They're always looking for promotion. They're always looking for somewhere to bring their music. They're always looking for somewhere to tell their stories. You know what I'm saying?
So can you break down what a booker is, or can you? Because like for me, I don't know what a booker is. So what are they, and how do you go about getting a booker?
Well, a booker is somebody who has access to talent and
Okay.
people.
So
You know
like
what I'm saying?
a agent.
Right. It could be an agent. It could be a manager at the
Oh,
store.
okay. So
It
it's
could
a
be
booker is like
right.
someone has access to people to send for like interviews.
Right.
They try to more like to try to market their talent.
Right, right.
Okay,
Or
okay.
sometimes, like my sister, done been a booker for me. She worked in the Barclays Arena,
Mm-hmm.
and she had employees that was under her that had talent, and she sent them to me. You know what I'm saying? So, a booker doesn't really have to be in a specific position, job-wise, but they're in a position-wise where they have a lot of talent and know a lot of talented people around them, and they can
That's
direct
very
them your way.
interesting. I
Right.
never thought about it, but it's sort of like an agent as well, though. But a booker can be more like, you know, an agent looking to get paid, but a booker is more like,
Yeah, it's more like I write in the book. It's more like one hand wash the other. They
yeah,
need promotion for their
okay,
people. Some of them, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying. So we're helping each other out,
helping each
actually.
other.
You know what
You
I'm
know what I'm
saying?
saying? To help each other. Yeah, like okay, that make a lot of sense.
Right.
And like you said, like I said, and doing in this field of work, I realized like studying your shows and being around you, I realized you meet a lot of people, man. You meet a
Yeah.
lot of people. So how? What are some of the tools that you develop, or how you learn to communicate and handle each guest?
For one, you have to self-promote yourself. For one, biggest thing you could do, but you don't have to go step on every scene, self-film, promoting yourself. You check out and see the scenery and what's going on there first. And if I have a lot of talented people around me or just inspiring stories around me, then I start putting the bug out there like I do TV, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
okay.
then we'll go from there, you know what I'm saying? And we'll see how our schedules can connect and when we can make it happen. And I work fast, so we just gonna make it happen, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's very interesting because, like I said, me being in this field, I'm more on the side of doing documentaries, but it's
Right,
more like based around myself and my art. So it's like the things that you're about, I try to pull from your experiences and your knowledge to see how I can tie it in to what I'm doing.
right.
And and trust me, I'm looking at everything because I'm taking what I can and taking and the things that I feel like I can't use, I leave it.
Right,
But the
right,
things that I can use, because all of it tie in. Because if I'm out in the field filming, I'm still communicating
right,
with the people in the world.
right.
Because when I'm filming, people going to be around me, walk if they just bypassers. You see what I'm saying? So it's like,
Right.
how do you tie in to move around if they don't want you in them filming them and things like that? It's a
Oh, I've
lot.
had that. I've had that, and
Yes.
I'm like, you're not even the focal point of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I got us. This Brooklyn comes out because you know I was born in Brooklyn Hospital.
Oh,
So
okay.
then the Brooklyn has to come out because it's like, who told you? We was even focused on you. You're actually like just in the background. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's
Yeah.
zooming in. Nobody's trying to get your outfit. We don't care about. You know what I'm saying? We care about this scene that we shooting, and if it's in the public, because sometimes people see the camera and then they put themselves out there.
Yeah.
But you can't put yourself out there and then say, you filming me? Why? I didn't get permission to film me. But you specifically came to walk by this camera when you seen it. You understand what I'm saying? So it'd be those type of situations right there.
So in your experiences doing that, how did that make you feel in your first? I mean, I guess your first experience with it. How did that make you want to stop or make you want to continue on, or how did that make you feel?
Honestly, I never really had that experience till I came to Staten Island. You know what I'm saying? Like I told you, I did the radio show and I did the show on the streets, lived that. But it was till I came here, and recently, me and Charlie was shooting some opening credits for the show, and we inside the store, and Charlie setting his camera up, and then this guy just went Hollywood on us. Okay, so I had to tell the store owner, I'm like, we're not even filming him. You know what I'm saying? He's not even a part of this right here. So he can pump his brakes. You know what I'm saying? And
So
we're
let me ask you this: if you in an environment like you was in the stores filming, and someone walks past and you use that footage, can they sue you for that?
no, it's in the public. You understand what
So
I'm saying?
anything's being shot in the public
Right,
is they can't sue you for.
right, right.
Even if even if you filming, you like say you in Manhattan filming,
Right.
and somebody walking past,
Right.
they cannot sue you for that.
No, because there's cameras in the traffic lights, there's cameras, and the businesses have their cameras going. The police is gonna
That's
come
nice
there
to
with their
know.
cameras.
So
You
let me
understand
ask
what
you
I'm
this:
saying?
if you're in the filming world and say for instance you filming, but you so happen to film McDonald's, the sign, can they sue you for that?
No,
Like,
it's a public. It's a
because
public.
the reason why I ask you that, because sometimes I will see people on like I don't know, I may see somebody who may have on a name brand shirt and they will blur out the logo. So why would they do that if it's in the
That's
public?
something different. You know,
Okay.
like how we work here in television. So that's more like free promotion. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
right,
So if it's in the public,
right,
it's you can do it, but if it's I don't know. 'Cause see, that's the reason why I'm trying to
Have
figure
you
it out.
ever seen movies where they just have all of this product placement? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They paid them people to do
To
all
put
the
their brand in
right.
there. So that's why.
So that's why
I
you
was
see a lot
saying.
of blurring out
Yeah.
because right, when you get paid to show your stuff right there, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So why should we advertise for free for you? But something like McDonald's, which is in the big broad open and you're outside and everybody's walking around, is different. You understand what I'm saying? As compared to somebody who's trying to come up and get some type of free promotion like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So
That might be a problem.
So just like, cause I remember, like I was asking someone here, I said, if I drawing a Pepsi can, could I draw it? And they was like, you have to blur out the Pepsi logo.
Right, because we're here in the studio right now. You understand what I'm saying? And Pepsi probably paid for advertisement. You understand?
So that's what I'm saying.
Right.
If you're if you out in the world filming, and I'm drinking a Pepsi, can they sue me for that?
No, I mean, it's a
'Cause
difference.
'cause
Now, if you
somebody
zoom
here-
into the Pepsi and then you get into all of the, right, it's a difference. But if it's in the background, nah, it's in the background.
No, listen. If the film, I'm the focus, and if I'm drinking a Pepsi and that Pepsi logo is filmed on that camera, and I put it up on my show, if it was in a documentary,
Right, but you see what you said? The focus, and they're focusing on the logo and all of that.
So that's
right.
that's my understanding. Is like, so in order, like if I was shooting a documentary and I was drinking this Pepsi, I have to get Pepsi permission to use that Pepsi can in there.
Right.
Okay.
Let me tell you how the industry is now. Even for your tattoos, they'll be trying to cover these things up too. You know what I'm saying? They come there with makeup and cover that up too. So, you know, it's just a very thin line that you
Yeah.
right.
So the reason why I was saying that, because like I said, when I'm striving to create this documentary, creating like a trailer or creating like the like a trailer or something like because I'm in New York, so I want to film some of the New York scenes to tie into.
What you can do is reach out to them and get permission from them. You understand?
No, I wouldn't use. I'm talking about like the
But
train.
I'm saying if
I'm
it
talking
was
about
that
like
type,
the
the
subway,
train,
the
anybody could
trains,
use
the
that. The buses,
yeah, or
it's
something
public,
like the
public
alleyways
transportation.
and stuff like that. So I wanted to know, like, will I be wrong for you? And probably by Charlie being in environment, he like filming the environment. I have to learn more from him because he's more into
always out there filming.
Yeah, he filming so I can learn the do's and don'ts because I don't want to be filming in things that, because that's part of learning, you know, because if you go create something, you need to know these things because you don't want to film and create this whole project and then you get ready to launch it and somebody come and tell you you can't do that. You can't use that. And there, your whole project is just a waste of time.
Okay, so think of it like this. There's some public spaces that the public just has access to, like say the ferry. So you'll be able to film outside the ferry, around the ferry, but then you see there's like the police officer thing there. You wouldn't be able to just go with a camera and go back there filming like that. That's private space right
Where
there.
the police is at.
Right, or like say outside your house. You understand what I'm saying? You might be able to film, or anybody's house. You might be able to film outside because the public, anywhere the public has access to, you can film. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you can't, like if I was in somebody's yard filming.
Right.
It's more
you
like
would need their permission.
Yeah, to film in their yard.
Right.
Okay,
You would need their permission,
cool,
basically.
Cool.
You know.
But like on the streets, you know, it's different. Okay.
Right.
So like I said, that's some of the things that, you know, like you learned over your 10 years of being in this world, this field of camera, TV host, filming, because you say you've even been out on your boots on the ground filming and interviewing people, you know. So So, like I said, the more I learn, the more I see more insight on how to control what I'm doing. Because, like, since I've been in this field, working with you all, when I watch movies now, TV shows, even videos on YouTube, social media,
All right.
I look at it different now because I kind of got an understanding of the camera world. Is now it's like it's all about the setup, the audio,
Right.
the background, what kind of clothes you got on,
Right. You gotta
your
watch it.
position,
If they're watching
everything.
me today, they don't even see this. They don't see. Look at the camera. They don't see this. It's not there because we got green screen behind us. You understand what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it's the green screen sucks it up basically. It's
Okay.
gone. If you notice when I had the green sneakers on, they look white over there. You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? Right.
So that's what I'm saying. See, the more I get into the camera world, when I watch TV now, I see it from a camera world. I see it from a photographer
Right.
or a videographer, or I see it from a different perspective than I was just watching TV. You know, see, now I'm looking at it, how they shot it, what angle that they shot it, how they control the camera to the movement. That's something else I learned too. When you're moving with the camera, the object, like if
Right.
the camera is on an object and the camera is moving with the object, is more interesting than just sitting. You see what I'm saying?
You just like a lot of movement.
No,
Right. You just like a lot of movement.
I'm telling you, I just been watching. I've been studying film, bro, and film. Cause see, you gotta understand this: the people who control the camera control how you perceive things.
Right. But then sometimes it depends on the person. Like if you're in court, right? And you see how they do the Zoom call, that judge don't want you moving around because it's right, right, right.
That's different.
But it's still
No.
right.
I'm
It's
talking
still a
about when you.
situation to where you're controlling all of that. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
now see, you ain't got no other choice with the courts. You locked up. You know what I'm
Right. They don't
saying?
want you moving around. They tell you
No,
to pull over. They don't want you
talking about
driving. They don't want you doing
I'm
nothing.
talking about the entertainment world.
It,
Like
it, it all goes by who.
even like when you see TV shows when they had a camera may zoom around, come back around and stuff like that. That all that playing a part in controlling the audience.
That too, and it goes by who is your target audience. You understand what I'm saying? If my target audience, if the audience I was targeting was a little bit younger for this show, then you might see me on here drill rapping and doing a whole bunch of stuff while I'm trying to interview somebody. You understand what I'm saying? So it really depends on that.
Yeah, you're right. It depends on who you
Right.
are.
It depends on your target audience. That's very important. And you know, just being here, I felt that I wasn't getting my story across so much because I didn't feel these people here related so much to me. And I took it to Brooklyn, to Brick TV. I took it to MHN. I took it to BronxNet. So I'm a producer in all of these other studios also in these other boroughs. The only one I have not became a producer in is Queens. You understand what I'm saying? And that was a way of spreading my wings and testing different markets. You understand what I'm saying?
And you learn more like that.
Right.
You know, you don't, because see, that's
Right.
something that I learned as well. Don't just limit yourself to one resource. When
Right.
you broaden your resources, because see, this one may run out,
Right.
or it may not exist no more.
Right.
It's where you have more outlets, and that's something I learned for as learning the camera world. See, when I'm learning this camera world, I like doing what you're doing. I like shooting from with the camera, controlling the camera and how I shoot it,
Right.
and doing shows. I like to do all of it because that way it helps you in an overall way to like broaden your perception of things. You see what I'm saying?
Everything comes together.
Yeah.
Everything. You know, maybe 5 years ago, 2019, I brought an artist on here. Her name is Diana Daniels. I brought her on here. We created artwork live. You know what I'm saying? I've always been self-taught in certain things, but I've never been a painter. You know what I'm saying? So she showed me different techniques with painting. And, you know, I've said it before, when the pandemic came and everybody was isolated and everybody, you know, was separated from each other, this is something that I had to fall back on, was that painting that I learned. You understand what I'm saying? So I ended up creating like 200 pieces of work, you know what I'm saying, just at home doing that. But the irony of the story is I almost wouldn't be sitting here with you today for a 10th anniversary, because if anybody knows my story, 2021, right before everything started getting shut down, my lung collapsed. And I did one show, and I didn't know if it was going to be my last show. I didn't even know while I was doing the show that I had a collapsed lung. It's just that my guest took me to the emergency room after I finished doing the show, and that's when I found out.
Wow.
And that's when I really recognized, like, that could be the last of the Mohegans right there. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I had to take the time, couldn't take the vaccine and none of that stuff. I had to take the time to get myself well. And when I got myself well, I didn't even know if it was going to be, you know, if I was going to be able to pick my career back up, because it was at the height that this lung collapse happened. And it's scary, you know what I'm saying? It's very scary to not have too much to fall back on. That's why you can't put all your stuff in one basket. You know what I'm saying? And fortunately, I was able to come back, and I was able to come back even harder, because I ended up winning a big award in Brooklyn, you know, on my comeback trail. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I'm here now, and I was able to start writing books. So I was able to branch from what I started with TV into art. And then I got discouraged. And then I was able to come back to TV, take all the art, take everything I learned, and just put it all together and make something something even bigger. And then I run into you at the company party, okay? And you are doing comic books, you're an author, you're doing books. And then I was able to learn this right here and take that same art. That's why, Charlie, where's those covers at? Put those covers up there so they can see, you know what I'm saying, that it's just not about having one hat, okay? Yeah, I authored these books, but I also had to be involved in the production of these books.
Yeah, the designs. And
Right, and designing these covers and putting that together.
Yeah,
And, you know,
you got nice covers, bro. I like how you use the colors and the different tones, and it's very, very detailed.
right, and then you just have to be creative. Now you see those other 4 books, they have like almost the same template, but then on that 5th book, I said, no, okay, we're gonna do something different here, and I'm gonna really jump out the window and really put myself into original, you know what I'm saying? And I did it, you know what I'm saying? It's hard. I pulled all of that together, and I never had any formal training. That's what people have to learn. Don't depend on anything that's going to discourage you, anything that's going to be an obstacle. You have to learn how to go around it and make your dream come true by any means necessary, you know.
So it did kind of getting that closer to the end of the show. What's next? It's 2024 in the middle. We almost going to the end of 2024.
Wow.
So what's next for you, your TV host show, your books? What you got planned for the future for the
Well,
world?
this show, I'm going to host as long as I can host it, you know what I'm saying? I would hope that maybe my children would have came in, but now it's looking like maybe my grandchildren will probably be coming in and take over this stuff right here. But also, what's next for me personally is, if they've been watching and they're I'm not gonna say local. I want to say I can't even think of the word. But if they have been watching my movements, they see I've gravitated towards just set now, and we
Oh,
have
okay.
been doing some art
Yeah, yeah.
critiquing over there, and we've been doing just a whole big shebang on art over there. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm excited about that.
Right, something new.
1 hour television.
Right,
1 hour
so
television. Ace.
right,
Yeah,
I've
so I
joined.
mean, the reason why I asked you that is because sometimes we may not know where we're going,
I
but
never know.
sometimes you can pull it
Yeah,
into
yeah,
existence,
yeah.
and sometimes you can. And no, I ain't gonna say sometimes you can speak things into
Oh yeah,
existence
most definitely,
to put you on that path. You see what I'm
most
saying?
definitely.
And
But in these 10 years, I would never be able to go out there like your psychic friend and tell you, yes, Ja, you're going to be doing. I never know. Just like some of my greatest guests, like your story was very inspiring. These people just fall out the sky. I don't know where, you know what I'm saying? Then, yeah, I do got bookers, but then I do booking too myself
yeah,
at times. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I move fast. So anybody who I've approached and I've asked to tell your story, I've asked you to come to this platform, and you kind of brush it off or whatever. I'm patient. You know what I'm saying? I'm very patient. I've had guests that I had to wait 2 years or longer for them to come sit up here and tell me their story. So that's not a problem. The problem is I'm just going to need y'all to just trust. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing from day one, anybody that came up here, I've had to tell them I'm not going to TMZ you because these people be having so much going on in their background, okay, that they think once they get in here in front of these cameras, this is my objective is to just put them on the spot. And that's not me. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to talk about it, that's something different. But I'm not just going to force you to talk about some stuff that you're not comfortable talking about here, you know.
yeah, that's understandable.
So I've had to learn that. And, you know, I had another point I wanted to make. I can't think of exactly what it is. But as you've been watching this show, my background changed. At first, I just had a plain background. And then the next year, the color changed, and then the color changed, and then the color changed, and the color changed. And I know people like, why does he keep changing the color and not sticking with just his regular background? It's for me to know when I shot these shows. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing so much work. It's hard to remember, like, did I do that 5 years ago, or did I do that?
And sometimes it's good to upgrade.
Right, it's always
It's
good.
good to change,
It's always good.
because that way, because like you said, that was a certain era.
Yeah.
See, by you looking at that background, you know what era that was,
Yeah.
and then you compare it to this era and that era, and you can see the difference between how you either grown or what you subtracted from your process and
Right.
how you add it. You
Right,
see
you'd
what
be
I'm saying?
surprised. I done streak my hair. I done dye my hair, bleach my hair blonde. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just so I can know different specific eras. You know.
But it's always good to grow, because you don't never want to stay the same. You gotta change, just like cell phones. Just imagine if we were still house phones. That was it. Just imagine we still had house phones.
Yeah, and on that note, I started with really no theme song, and then I done had probably 2 or 3 theme songs before I settled on this one specific theme song that I use now. And if you notice, I only use the instrumental. You know what I'm saying? Even if they watch the opening and closing credits, that's something that I had to go sit down and go put together myself. Also, you know what I'm saying? So it's been a lot of hard work. Even if they looking from their couches and they don't see me doing nothing, believe me, I'm doing a lot back here. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of understanding, and like I said, for me, I know like in anything you do, but my experience with these cameras is you gotta put the work in. You gotta be willing to do it, and sometimes you gotta be willing to start over if you don't get it right, because sometimes that's something that I used to go with. Like if I did something, a project, and if I didn't like it, I just went on with it. But today I'm more, no, it gotta be right.
Right, but you still cannot be too hypercritical of yourself. You will get there, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes you can't force yourself to get somewhere, you know what I'm saying? You just have to let it, you have to go with the flow to get where you need to go. And it's always good to let the feedback around you motivate you and push you more than your being a little bit hypercritical of yourself. Because sometimes we could be just our biggest critic, you know what I'm saying, and our worst critic, I should say. So,
So I heard you talk about you working on 5 new books. So when can the community look forward to for those books?
they should have been out now for the anniversary. Actually, I had a little setback that we was talking about where I try to move from ebooks to paperback to hardcover, and those is all 3 different lanes. So I have to go back to my original plan. These books should be out at least by September. Okay, they're already written and everything. It's just that I have to do the title pages, the covers, and everything else that goes with the book. So,
Well, like I said, it takes time, bro. You're not in a rush. Never be in a rush with, cause like I said, when I first published my first book, I published my second one, I published the third one, and I realized it's easy for me to write and publish a book, but the challenge is to create a masterpiece, a bestseller.
right.
So in creating a bestseller, you gotta leave it in the oven a little longer. You see, it ain't microwave. See,
Sometimes it's like the artwork. Is you could be your hardest critic. Like somebody else, it's just all they needed. It's everything they needed right there. And that's why I said you have to go by the feedback. Feedback is good. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's good, whether it's bad, it's feedback. It will help you know what your next move is going to be or how to correct something that, you know what I'm saying, is an issue or could be an issue. So,
well, that's where I'm at. Creating projects now is like I have to make it better than my last project.
all right.
All right, that's it.
No, we got 2 minutes. Still got time.
Well, it was a good show, man. I got a chance to learn a lot from you, man. Especially when we got to talking about the filming outside of your experiences on choosing guests and go about guests, bookers.
Right, and all of that stuff is in the books. So if they go into the books, then
Well, let the people know again where they can find your.
they
books.
can find those same books. They can go look on Amazon. They can just look my name up on Amazon, or they can look the title of the book name up on Amazon, and they're ebooks. So majority of the time, you can probably download those things for free. But just do me a favor, just go through the pages and read the book. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where the support comes in.
Oh, okay. Well, that's about it, man. Like I said, it was nice being a part of your show today and learning different phases and different levels of
Yeah,
TV hosting
it's
videography.
a blessing for me to see you begin your journey, because where you at is where I was at 10 years ago. So sky's the limit. 10 years from now, where you will be at.
Yeah,
And
10
documentaries, you know what I'm saying? Everything that you want to do, they will be done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's my goal, man, is to create documentaries, shoot not just documentaries, these too. So
Right,
One
right.
Eye Television. That's why I created One Eye Television, because I want to do more than documentaries. I want to shoot TV shows about art.
Right.
Bring host up and everything. Thank y'all for coming.